Not only that, I think that's a great point that you brought up, but also recording yourself. Not only are, like you said, you know, most people who are better socially have more social interactions, but a lot of people who don't pick up on social cues are oblivious to the fact that they're not picking up on it. That's why they're like that. So if you record yourself and look at yourself, or if you record yourself and show an interview to your friends if you're nervous, some real friends who are going to give it to you bluntly. They're not going
Right.
to sugarcoat it. And ask them for their honest and true opinion. They're going to tell you, "Oh, you know, you always do that thing and it's really awkward when you like you know, scratch your head and people it's just it gives like a weird confusing vibe. Like you could be saying something really insightful but it's really distracting because the whole time you're just scratching yourself. Don't do it. You know, when someone tells you, you're going to stop doing it. I don't know, I might be scratching myself all the time. But because I'm not aware of it, I'm not going to change it. Someone else might, you know, dart their gaze a lot, like be very distracted, or look down at their phone a lot when they're interacting with people. Once you start recording yourself or just being very aware of how it is that you're being perceived, you're going to start to change that. That's the only way. Like, unless you know you have a problem, you're not going to change the problem. So, the
Right.
biggest thing for me is find venues to identify how you're coming off as.
Yeah, I totally agree. And video yourself, like that really helped me out when I was applying to dental school and doing the interviews. For example, one thing was I, you know, what is it? I rambled a lot. Without knowing that, you know, I would just ramble on, and it could dose people off, make people zone off, you know, zone out. So one thing I realized is that if you're becoming aware of what you do and you know, how you talk to other people, that really helps you out to figure out a way to change what you're doing right now. So the way that I stopped rambling was just to video myself, and then slowly, whenever I'm finding myself ramble and I looked at the other people, seeing that they're dozing off, I would just like stop myself, shut myself down, and said, okay, you know, let me get to the point, and just said this.
And that's another great point that you brought up, that you looked at other people dozing off. So not only is it important to be aware of what it is that you're doing and ask for feedback or record yourself and look at yourself and study your actions, but also study the other person. Looking for their feedback is key. If the person's dozing off, you're going to ask yourself what's going on. If everyone is looking at their phones every time you're hanging up, every time you're talking and you look around the table and everyone's on their
Right.
phones, that's a bad sign. Or if you're talking and you see people exchanging looks, or if you're talking and you keep looking someone, you see someone darting to one side of your body, for example. Like I was in an interview recently for a job, and I noticed that my interviewer kept looking at my left ear. Like, she was great, we were very friendly, but she kept looking at my left ear, and I wondered what was going on. And so I just casually touched my left ear, and I realized I was only wearing one of my earrings had fallen out. And she was so distracted by that fact that she kept darting her gaze to my left ear. So it's good to be aware of that stuff. Obviously, look at yourself in the mirror before you go for an interview, but be very attuned to the cues of your interviewers.
Right.